Good evening, ladies. I am so excited to talk to you. This is a very sensitive topic. I did make a reel, and I want to tell you about that real quick. I had quite a few ladies, well, not quite a few, just a few. I'm new to reels, but they saw my post and got very upset with me. And I want to talk tonight about that and why I said what I said, which you're about to hear in a few minutes. I have been made aware of some statistics, and they absolutely blew my mind. Now, I know that, as Americans, or people all over the world, but especially Americans, we do not eat correctly. So we all know that, right? I mean, obesity, about 50% of Americans are obese right now. Not overweight, truly obese. And it's becoming more and more acceptable. And I have a 6-year-old granddaughter, and I'm going to tell you why it really touched me. We started eating lunch at my granddaughter's school with her, and she lives with us now. And I walked into the school, and all around the school were obese children. And I was really shocked. When I went to school in the 80s, I graduated in 1986, so I'm 55. But when I went to school, I can remember 2 people in my school, kids, that were overweight too. I still remember them because it was so different. You know, kids weren't overweight back then. But when I went to my granddaughter's school, Cambria is in 1st grade, and I was shocked at how many overweight children there were. And then I looked on some data and some statistics, and I found out that we are number 4, Tennessee. My son's trying to call me. Sorry, ladies, my son's trying to call. In the state of Tennessee, we are number 4 for rising rates of type 2 diabetes, number 4 in the nation. So I live in Tennessee. I'm originally from Ohio, but I've lived here 20 years this month, actually. Actually, tomorrow, 20 years tomorrow. 3/3/03 was when I moved here. And I was talking to Cambria. She's 6 years old, and she was telling me, you know, each day she comes home and she says, we had this treat today, we had that treat today. One day in her class, I kid you not, she had 5 different treats. And one of them was lunch, where she chose to have ice cream, which is fine, right? But I was just shocked. And she said, well, Mama, I only had treats. I didn't have a snack. And she thought treats and snacks were 2 different things, and she needed to have some of each. So she was asking for more candy at the house, and Wade and I sat and explained to her, this is not good. You know, you really have a problem with the sweets. And she began to cry. And so as a grandparent, we both looked at her and said, we do this because we love you. It's not because we're trying to withhold something good from you. But we are trying to teach you how to eat, baby. And you shouldn't be having 5 treats in a day at school. You know, and it was only worse on Valentine's. And it was only worse when there's, a holiday like Halloween and all those things. And so we really began to tell her, when we say no, it is out of love. It's not that we're trying to be mean to you. So now we're trying to embed in her mind that, well, if Mama and Papa say no about the treats or some other food, it's because they love me, not because they are angry with me or upset with me or don't like me, but it's because they love me so much that they want me to be in health. Now, she cried when we told her she couldn't have the treats, and she does that on occasion. And she doesn't understand. She doesn't think it's too much sugar. But out of love, that's what I have to do. So my post on Facebook went like this, and it made some women I care about very angry. And it hit me because I'm going to tell you first, before I tell you what I wrote, here's why I wrote what I did. Right now in a hospital, I know of an over 200-pound 8-year-old boy who is having to have hip replacement because he is so obese. He's 8 years old and over 200 pounds. I know that as a fact, but he's not the only one in this hospital like that. I'm going to tell you some statistics that will blow your mind in just a minute. And I want you to hang on, because listen to me. Our children's lives and our children's futures are truly hanging in the balance, truthfully. We've been lied to. We don't hear about these things and are kept quiet. But meanwhile, pharma, which is drug dealers in America, pharma, I'm not talking about the bad ones, I'm talking about the legal ones, want to give us pills to fix our symptoms from poisoning our bodies. They want to give us pills to fix the symptoms, but they don't give us the cure. The cure is not fixing the symptoms, but the cure is getting to the root of the problem. And right now, type 2 diabetes is predicted to increase in children under the age of 20. This prediction is very close on. It's predicted to increase by 675%. Now listen, by the year 2060, if this trend continues. Diabetes in children under the age of 20 will increase by 675% by the year 2060 if our trend continues. Let me tell you, that's a prediction, but let me tell you what happened between the year 1980 and 2014. In 1980, there were 108 million people with diabetes. In 2014, there were 422 million. We will have over 700 million by the year 2045 with type 2 diabetes. 700 million. Listen to this statistic. Between the year 2001 and 2009, there was a 21% increase in type 1 diabetes. 21% between 2001 and 2009. So with the type 2 diabetes, it comes from what we eat, from abusing our bodies. Now, are any of us exempt? I've abused my body with food. I was overweight. I lost 45 pounds. I didn't understand what eating healthy was. It was abuse to my body. And here's the thing I say again and again, and I hope that you ladies hear me. And Nicola, I'm so glad you're here, because she was very upset with me. And it's okay to be upset with me. But listen to this. I didn't understand what my food should look like. I didn't. I knew that I needed to eat greens. I didn't like greens. I mean, I don't like greens. I still don't like greens. I don't. And to me, you know, dinner was pizza Friday night, pasta on Thursday, chicken breast. Actually, I never had chicken breast. I always thought they were too dry. Now I've learned to fix them, and they're not dry. But chicken thighs was what it was, with the skin on, because I like the skin. On one day a week, and mashed potatoes and all of the stuff. And I went low carb for about 5 years, and I thought I was being healthy. But meanwhile, I was eating tons and tons of bacon, and I was eating tons and tons of calories, and still didn't lose all the weight. I lost a little weight on keto, but it plateaued because I didn't understand how it should have went, right? So am I exempt from saying that I abused my body? No, I'm not exempt from that. And here's the thing, I too am not exempt from abusing my children. And that's what I posted. That if we have obese children outside of an illness that they might have, or maybe it's like a drug that some of them are on that causes obesity, but outside of that, those things being rare, when I walked into my grandchild's school, I should have saw very few obese children. Like I said, in my day, I remember 2 kids in my whole school. But in Cambria's school, right now she's in 1st grade, there are many. And it will increase up to 675% in children under the age of 20 by 2060 if we don't do something. And there's so much that we can do. So while my post said this, I believe that people with obese children are abusive parents if there is not some medical reason why, and I should have added other things. Of course, there are other reasons why, but 99% of obese children, 99% of them don't have a medical issue that causes them to be obese, or a pill or a medicine that they have to take that causes them to be obese. And do we love our children? Heck yeah, I drove my children through McDonald's all the time. All the time. And do I still have treats? Oh, heck yes, I do. Do I allow my granddaughter to have treats? Yes, I do. But I've had to make it a real talk in my home to my granddaughter and to myself. What is a healthy balance here? Because I heard this today and it so resonated with me. And here's what the lady said. If you had $100 million racehorse, worth $100 million, you wouldn't feed it any old thing. You wouldn't feed it what it just wanted to eat, sugar cubes and apples. You would make sure it had proper nutrition. You wouldn't take it just any old place. No, you wouldn't risk it. You wouldn't want to do that to that $100 million, whatever it was, racehorse. $1 million. I don't even know what she said, but true, you wouldn't, right? Even if it was $500,000 racehorse, right? Oh my gosh, we would take care of our investment, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, true, we wouldn't do that. But yet, we have bodies that are invaluable. We have so much value because guess what? In these bodies, because they are one of a kind, we can't replace them. So many times, we drive through the McDonald's and their burgers, to tell you the truth, I've seen pictures of ones 20 years old without mold on them. It's on YouTube, go look it up. There's more than one. There's multiple people with old burgers, 20 years old. Nothing has changed about those burgers. They look the same. They're harder, and they feel like cardboard. But other than that, even the weather in the home, even things didn't break them down. Our bodies can't break down those preservatives. So you know what? I too have fed my kids all the crap. They didn't like veggies, and they didn't like, they wanted chicken nuggets and fries. And I got them chicken nuggets and fries and Coke or Sprite or whatever. I tried to go with Sprite because I thought it was better than Coke because it didn't have caffeine, right? And so I too have been so guilty of that. It wasn't a treat. It was a lot. I worked a lot when they were little. I worked a full-time job. And here's the thing. It is abusive, but I didn't know it. And it is abusive in many ways to our own bodies, but I didn't understand it because I didn't understand nutrition. And what we're doing here in this group is learning not just to lose weight, ladies, not just to be our best 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old woman, which I want us to be. And if we want to be our best, that means understanding nutrition. And you know what? I just don't want to be the only one in my family eating right. I have clients that say, well, my kids don't want to eat like me now that I'm working on your program. They don't want vegetables and chicken breast. They want, they want nuggets, and they want macaroni and cheese, and they want French fries, and they want all this stuff, and they name it. And my kids won't eat this other stuff. And so I've got to make 2 meals now. Allie, this is really hard on me to make my healthy food, to change my body and get my health back. And they're over here eating this other stuff I've got to make for them so they'll eat it. You know, they want things like pizza, and they want Eggo waffles, and they want sugary cereal, and they want... But see, where are we off in our thinking? Because if this food over here that we're eating is making me healthy, then why allow my children to grow up with the same problems and have the same issues and not even understand how to eat healthy? I didn't understand how to eat healthy until now. I'm in my 50s. I'm 55. Now I teach women all over the world about nutrition and about diet, what their calories should look like, what their workouts should even be. I didn't understand any of that before the age of 50. And we've got to think about our children. What are we handing them? Are we handing them a crutch? Well, we don't have time to fix food. We're busy people and we've got to get to the game. And here's the thing. Through love, it is harder to eat healthier sometimes. It really is. But in the long run, are we truthfully doing ourselves any favors by running through McDonald's or grabbing pizzas or Wendy's or any of those places? Are we truthfully doing our children a service, a good service, or are we maybe unknowingly abusing their bodies and adding to their life some issues that they may have to deal with as they get older? And developing something like cancer or type 2 diabetes or heart disease. Right now, as a fact, there are men and women in dialysis that are age under 30. And they are losing their lives to type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes can be prevented by changing our diet. It can be prevented by changing our diet, by moving, getting some exercise. Now listen to this statistic. This is so awesome. You can ward off type 2 diabetes. You can actually decrease your risk of type 2 diabetes by 58% by doing these simple things. Listen to this, ladies. You can decrease your risk of getting type 2 diabetes by 58% by simply doing these things. Number one, lose 5 to 7% of body weight. 5 to 7% of your body weight. That is not even a big loss. 5 to 7%. If I weigh 150 pounds, 10% is 15 pounds. So that would be, if I were going 5 to 7, 5 is 7.5 pounds. I could lower my risk of type 2 diabetes by 58% if I weigh 150 by losing 7.5 pounds. Now listen to this. And not just losing the weight, but doing 150 minutes of walking per week. 150 minutes is just over 2 hours of walking per week. And many of us are not getting that in. If you do those two things, decrease your weight by 5 to 7%, and you walk 150 minutes throughout 7-day period, you can decrease your risk of diabetes by 58%. Isn't that crazy? So what do we got to teach our children to do? To keep their weight down. You know, and here's another thing I've said, and it really bothers people. And I want to, you know, as a leader, I have some influence, and maybe it's not huge worldwide influence, but I have some responsibility here to tell the truth. And I'm going to tell it. And it's hard to say sometimes, but we've got to teach our children that obesity is not acceptable, to shame them. Not to shame anyone about obesity. We should love ourselves no matter where we are. I have been overweight. We should love ourselves no matter where we are. But true love is just like I talked about with my granddaughter. True love requires discipline, not beating our children. True love requires teaching them about their diet and also us having to learn it so we can teach it. And so that we, and they don't do what we tell them to do, they do what we do. So living it out in front of them could save their lives. We don't know what they will face at age 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. By the year 2045, over 700 million people will have type 2 diabetes. 700 million. In 1980, it was 108 million. In 2014, it had already went from 108 million in 1980 to 422 million had it by 2014. And it's not just hitting older people or adults. It will increase by 675% in children under the age of 20 by the year 2060 if we do not change something. This group here has to be active, very proactive, because we're not just here to be hot. Although that's not bad, ladies. We can be hot in 50 or 60 or 70. Go for it. Your diet is going to help you get there, right? And you're going to get the health benefits as well. And we need to be able to teach our children and our grandchildren about nutrition, right? We do. That's what we're here for. So while some of the things I might say seem offensive, I hope you know me or get to know me well enough to see that I'm trying to make some noise. I'm trying to shake the house. I'm trying to get some attention. You know why? Because somebody needs to start saying it. Somebody needs to tell us to wake up, wake up. See, pharma, big pharma that's selling you the pills to mask the symptoms wants to keep selling you the pills and the insulin because they're making billions and billions and billions of dollars off this industry. And we're dying, and we're dying, and we're dying, and we're dying because of it. And we're giving, so much of our money to these places when if we change our food, if we simply move and lose some body weight, we can bring our chances of getting this terrible disease down by what percent? 58%. We can do this. While I know that this conversation was, eye-opening and also could be considered offensive, I want you to know that shaming obesity is not going to work. It is not. It's an awful thing because it makes someone feel bad about themselves. So should we shame them and say, you're obese, you should be ashamed of yourself? No, I too was overweight, right? We should love ourselves at any place. But like I said earlier, loving ourselves to, like I did with my granddaughter, give them discipline. And I know I've said that several times, but I want you to hear my heart. The kind of discipline that happens when you love someone and you say, you can't do that, baby. If our children we wouldn't hand our children alcoholic beverages. We wouldn't. It would be considered abuse. And we would not hand our children drugs, pills that they have not been given by the doctor. That would be considered abuse. But we're handing them food that has things in it that is poison to their bodies, and we continue to let them have it. And we actually even reward them with poison, giving them poison for good deeds done. And we need to find a balance. Am I saying take away all the fun stuff that they like and the mac and cheese and all the pizza and the treats and the Snickers and the Reese cups? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying teach your children balance. Find your balance. And here's the thing, ladies. Your balance might change. You might start out just cutting out some diet sodas and some regular sodas in your family and say, kids, we're going to get a little healthier. And some of you might go to a different extreme and cut out everything, But here's the thing. You have to find your balance. Something that you can live with, a lifestyle. So when my clients come on and they say, what do you eat, Allie? What do you eat, Allie? Well, that's changed over the years because when I started getting healthy, it was just taking things I knew were horrible out of my life and finding my balance. And I went too strict for a while, and what happened was I fell off the wagon because going too strict, I couldn't sustain it. It didn't work for me. And so I had to find a way to stay healthy while finding my balance. Now, my balance in this might look a whole lot different than yours, but you've got to find your balance. Okay? What does living healthy look like to you? First, you need to understand, think about what our ancestors ate. Everything that they ate, nothing they ate came in a bag or a box or a can. For thousands of years, they ate meat, they ate off the land, they ate veggies, meat and veggies, right? So the less that it is processed, the better, most likely, it is for you, right? If it's food that is not poison, right? So think about that. Make about 80% of your diet that. Make it that your goal, to have really healthy breakfast. Instead of sugary cereal for your children, start introducing them to eggs and maybe even white toast. I don't care. Some kind of toast. If they'll eat the Ezekiel bread toast, my granddaughter will if I toast it and put some butter on it. And I will smear a little strawberry jam on there too. Not piles of it, but I'll smear it on there. If she eats her eggs, then she can have a little jam. So she's still having some of that stuff. I'm finding my balance for her and for me. And it's I feel so much better than I used to. I wish I would have known not to throw cheeseburgers at my children all the time, right? And French fries and chicken McNuggets and pizza and pasta and all the stuff. And thank God that my children have learned to eat healthy over the years. Without me, because I didn't understand it. And so, you know what? That's what my post was about. I hope you hear my heart, and I hope you hear it with the love that it is meant to. If it saves one life, and people get angry at me if it just saves one life, if it saves someone from, going through dialysis or heart disease or cancer or whatever they have to go through, losing a limb or toes or fingers because I said something that impacted one life, I'll say it every day. I want my life personally to make a difference in this world. I know I'm 55 years old and I don't have a huge amount of life ahead of me. I don't. And if people are going to get angry with me over things I say, then that's okay. But I want to make a difference in this world. That's what I want to do. I want to leave a mark. I want to help somebody while I'm here. And if it offends people, I'll say it sometimes and put it on steroids because I want it to be heard. If I tell people we need to feed our children better because they're overweight and we need to really think about nutrition and how to change that, does that get much response? No, it really doesn't. People let it go in one ear and out the other, and they don't hear it. They don't hear what I'm saying. So at times, will I say things in a magnitude or in a way to get their attention? Yes. And I hope you understand that because I need people to hear me. And am I the only one that needs to be speaking? All of us do. All of us do. And in this day and age of trying to be politically correct, we are also being so politically correct that we truthfully have muted our truth tellers because truth isn't hate. What I'm saying today is love, and I hope people hear it. It's love. It's not hate. It's love. And love means discipline. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it makes us angry. Sometimes it makes us want to cry like it did my 6-year-old granddaughter, right? It makes us upset. But hopefully it makes us upset enough to change our ways. Because, most of us, me, I took care of my car better than I did my body. I did. I'd throw stuff in my body. I wouldn't throw the McDonald's wrappers in my car and leave them lay there. But I'd throw the McDonald's food in my body. My one-of-a-kind body. The only one I got. I can't replace it. Do I still do it occasionally? Every now and then. Very rarely, but every now and then. And maybe I shouldn't do it ever, right? But I do every now and then. But I take better care of my home because it's valuable, right? It's valuable. I don't want to just let it go. I just, I don't look at my home and say, I just don't have time for all that. Just let the roof cave in and we don't need new shingles. The water spot will dry up. No, I make sacrifices. Fix that roof, boy. I don't want that thing. I don't want my property value going down. But I'll throw crap in my body and expect my body not to deteriorate from it. See, our thinking's off. We're taking better care of our car that we can replace and our house that we can replace than we're taking care of our bodies that we cannot live without. And so I hope that you hear my heart. I've got to go. I've been on my soapbox really long. I hope you hear my heart, and I hope that together you will join me in speaking up for our children because someone needs to be their voice. We've got to stop this epidemic. We've got to stop it. We've got to do our part. Our children are so valuable and they don't understand nutrition. They have no clue. They just think that food is about eating what you want. So, I love you ladies. Thank you for joining me tonight. I go live right here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Central. I would love to have you join me every Thursday. I give free information about workouts and diets and nutrition, and I just take my time to do it. This is what I do for a living as a coach. I am the founder of Bod Babes. My husband and I got in shape after the age of 50 and 51, and we changed our lives. Are we perfect? Heck no. Are we trying? Heck yes. And we've been able to work with men and women all over the world. And I'm so thankful to make a difference in this world. It means so much to me. I want to leave a legacy. And I hope you join me. If you need a coach, Jennifer, I will put this on YouTube. I'm going to place it there after I get done. I always download from Facebook and put it on YouTube. And I will put it up over there. Thank you for sharing it. It means the world to me. And I hope that these things just touch you. These talks help you. That's what I'm in it for. But if you need a coach, reach out to me. I'm Allie, the founder of Bod Babes. I'm 55 years old. I work with women only over the age of 40. And just go to bodbabes.com. Right now I have one program that is available. And I would love to, absolutely love to work with you. And here's the thing. When I coach women, it usually doesn't just change their lives. It changes the family's lives. It changes children's lives. It changes grandchildren's lives. It changes husbands' lives. And that's awesome. Because you going after your health, or getting your sexy back, whatever it wants to be, whatever it looks like, it'll still give you greater health, better health. And you know what? It will touch those around you. And you can change things in your family just by changing your life. By changing your life, your kids and your grandkids will look up to you and say, well, dang, Mom, you're looking good. And they can see a great example of you and how you've changed your life. And you know what? If you're the cook or if you're picking out the food, they probably will start eating better too. And that usually happens. Husbands will start eating better and lose weight. You know what? We have had men and women come off of metformin because their A1C was out of control and they were on metformin and come off of it. We've had men and women come off of high blood pressure medicines. High triglycerides turn around in 30 days from over 500 down to what was his, baby? 332. It went from 500 and something to 332 in 30 days. Triglycerides. I kid you not. And you know what? Amazing things can happen for you. Don't think that there's no hope. You can change your life. It's not too late. You are not too old. It is not too hard. I promise you, you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. If my clients all over the world have did it, you can do it. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself again. Blessings, ladies, and I will talk to you soon. If you want to share this, you can't from this group because it is a private group, but I will put it on YouTube. It will be under Bod Babes on YouTube. BODBABES, one word. You have a wonderful night, ladies. Thank you so much for your time. Good night.